Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and in this video I'm going to walk you through how to set up an LLC if you are a non-resident of the United States. So if you are looking to start a business in the US but you live outside of the country, this video will break down exactly what you need to do step by step. Before we dive into the specifics, here is a quick rundown of what we will be covering. Firstly, the benefits of forming an LLC as a non-resident, some key things you need to consider when you are forming your LLC as a non-resident, the steps to set up your LLC and the necessary documentation, and also how to handle taxes and compliance as a non-resident. I will also introduce you to my recommended LLC service that makes sure you are compliant and offers guidance if you ever need help with taxes or legal questions later down the road. As always, if you do decide to use my recommended service, I may earn a small commission at no extra cost to you, and I've thoroughly researched all of these options and I trust this service to provide top-notch support. So firstly, why should you form an LLC in the United States even if you are not a US resident? Here are some of the key benefits. Firstly is liability protection. So just like US residents, as a non-resident LLC owner, you will get personal liability protection which shields your personal assets from business debts and legal issues. The second thing, and this is really a huge one if you are a non-resident, is an LLC that is formed in the US can give your business credibility, especially if you plan on working with US customers or partners. Having a US-based LLC also allows you to open US business bank accounts, and of course this makes it much easier to process payments and work with US-based financial institutions. Finally, LLCs typically offer pass-through taxation, which means your business itself doesn't pay federal taxes. Instead, the profits and losses from your LLC are reported on your personal tax return, which simplifies your tax situation. With that being said, there are some unique things to consider when you are forming an LLC as a non-resident. The first of which being choosing the right state. So each state in the US has different rules and fees for LLCs. Some of the most popular states among non-residents are Delaware and Wyoming due to their business-friendly laws and low fees. You will also need a registered agent. Since you are not living in the US, you will need a registered agent in the state where you form your LLC. The registered agent is somebody who receives legal and tax documents on your behalf, and most LLC formation services provide this as part of your package. So this is not really something you need to worry about. They will handle this all for you. You will also need an employer identification number, also known as an EIN, and you will need this to open US bank accounts, hire employees, or file taxes. Non-residents can apply for an EIN without a social security number. You usually need one of these to file for an EIN, but you can do this without as a non-resident. So now let's go over the steps involved with setting up your LLC. The first thing that we need to do, of course, is choose where you actually want to form your LLC. As I said, some of the most popular states for non-residents are Delaware and Wyoming, but any state will work depending on your business model. Step number 2 is going to be choosing a business name. So your LLC's name must be unique in your state and it must follow the state's naming guidelines. To do this, you can search for name availability on the state's Secretary of State website for the chosen state that you want to form your LLC in. Next, you will need to file your articles of organization with the Secretary of State once again, and this document officially registers your business with the state. Step number 4 is going to be designating a registered agent, and since you're not in the US, as I say, you will need a registered agent in that state on behalf of your LLC. Step number 5 is applying for an EIN with the IRS. This is super easy to do on the IRS website, but once again, most of the company formation agents out there are going to handle this for you. And then step number 6 is going to be opening a US bank account. Once you have your EIN, you can then open a US bank account. And as a non-resident, you are going to find it much easier to set up payment processors like Stripe and PayPal with a US-based bank account. Now, taxes are always a big concern, and as a non-resident, you'll need to understand a few key things. Firstly is federal taxes. So the IRS doesn't tax non-residents who don't have a physical presence or employees in the US. But if you do generate income from US sources, you may be subject to US taxes. Another thing is state taxes. Some states also impose state level income taxes, whilst others like Delaware, for example, this is why it's so popular, have no state taxes for LLCs that don't conduct business in the state. You will also need to maintain annual reports. Some states require additional paperwork, and additionally, having a US address and physical presence in the US may change your compliance needs. So now that you have a clear understanding of how an LLC works if you are a non-resident, if you are ready to make this official and form your business, I recommend Bizee to get started quickly and easily. The reason for this is because Bizee handles everything related to your LLC formation, including compliance, paperwork, and even registered agent services. In fact, with the registered agent, they actually offer this for free for the first year, so this can save you a lot of hassle. Let's now jump into my screen and I will show you how to set up your LLC using Bizee. Now, to get started with Bizee as a non-resident, just click on the top link in the description and it's going to take you over to this page. So all we need to do is click right here on form your LLC now. And then we want to choose the state that you want to form your LLC in, as well as, of course, LLC right here. So let's say that we are going for Delaware. As I said, this is one of the most popular states. We can see right here, we have the Bizee pricing, and then underneath we have the state fee. So the state fee is going to change depending on which state you go for. Just different states have different fees and regulations. So as you can see, these are all going to change. But let's go back to Delaware in this example. From these Bizee plans, the one that I recommend going for is the standard plan. And the reason for this is because this includes everything that you need from Bizee. So as you can see, they are going to prepare and file the articles of organization. This is the main document that we need that legally forms the business. We also get the 1 year free registered agent, which is absolutely necessary as a non-resident. Going down, they will also file and register our EIN business tax number to open bank accounts and hire employees. They will set up our operating agreement. We get lifetime compliance alerts to make sure that we are fully compliant and legal. And also very important is the unlimited phone and the email support. So if you have any questions, you can give them a call. So once we have selected this plan right here in our chosen state, we just go to get started. And then in here, we can now go in and we can choose our company name. So with this, we can see this is available because this has a check mark. And then I can go down and we can choose the designator on the end of this. This doesn't really make a difference. This is just how the company shows up on legal letters. From here, we can then choose if we want to pay an additional $50 to get the expedited filing time. So in this example, this is 2 days instead of 5 weeks. With this, it really just depends on how quickly you want your LLC forming. Next, we then want to go ahead and provide this contact information. So in here, I'm going to type in my name. And then as a non-resident, I don't have a US phone number. I'm in the UK. So in here, I'm going to go for the UK and then enter in my phone number. On this next screen, we can then choose if we want to use our own address or if we want to use the virtual mail service address. As a non-resident, we really want to be using this address right here, where Bizee have an address in the state that we need. And what they are going to do is any mail that comes to this address, they are going to go ahead and scan this in and send this across to us. This is not the same as a registered agent, just keep that in mind, but this is something that we do want as well. So we can go in here, we can select this, and then we can go for our contact address. And because I'm not in the US, I'm going to go ahead and enter in my UK address right here. Once this is entered, Bizee will then offer us this upsell. So we get a library of 25 contracts and we also get a business phone number. This is really not mandatory. It's up to you if you want these, but I'm going to say no thanks. And then in here, we can now add all of the members that we want to add to this LLC. So I'm just going to go down and add myself. So we can just fill this information right here and click on next. This is where we get offered the registered agent. So once again, the registered agent is in charge of receiving the legal document for our business. As a non-resident, we absolutely need this. So we will take this first year for free offer. And then in here, the EIN tax identification number. At the top, we of course want to say we are a foreign individual and we do not have a social security number. So we can select this and then just autofill this information, go down and select our address right here and click on next. On this next screen, it's then going to ask if we want to partner with Bizee's partners for our banking. So once again, this is up to you. As a non-resident, I would actually recommend this because it's just going to be much easier. So we can go down and say, yes, I'm interested. Bizee are also going to offer us this free tax strategy call. So we definitely want to take this as well. And then we can click on next. They've identified 2 licenses for our business in Delaware. So in here, we can either say, no thanks, I'll do the work myself, and we can find out what these actually are, and then we can fill them out. Or we can get them to mail us the applications for $99. On this screen, we then get an order summary. So just go through here and make sure everything is filled out correctly. Make sure all of the details are accurate. And then we can go down, click on next. And in this final section right here, we just enter in the card information that we would like to use. Click on agree and then complete and pay. So that is how an LLC works as a non-US resident, as well as how you can form your LLC with Bizee. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.